Okay, round two. A little bit of sadness. I just went through 15 minutes of this video and we didn't hit record, so oh well. It was good. Anyway, I'm Deirdre Catlin and I'm with Quantum Living Creations. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about today that some folks are finding valuable is how the little things that we can do to create comfort within our lives and our bodies. And in other videos, I've talked about how we live, in an adrenaline-based society, how we live kind of in fear. And today, I want to talk about some of the somatics, the ways that we put and physically sit or stand or how we hold our bodies that are actually signaling that we're in fear, and they will start to contract. And so how can we come out of that and change our daily experiences? And so one of the things that I was noticing during this quarantine time is a lot of time kind of spent, if I want quiet or individual time, in my room and on my bed. I don't have a desk, so um, in that position with my feet up and working on the computer or whatever I'm doing, I'm cutting my body in half, right? And then as I'm looking on my computer, I'm hunched over looking down. And those are all signals and indicators that could be telling your body that you're in fear or you're in depression. One of the things, look how we walk through the world, heads down on our computers, looking at all these things, right? And everything is closed in, and uh, the chemicals and everything in our body are telling us, okay, we're not safe, or we're not feeling good, so let's shut everything down. It's one of the easiest tricks that you can kind of stop that signaling and open up is to open your shoulders. Opening your shoulders widens your chest, which then allows you to take a deeper breath. And all of that means you're not sad, you're not, um, you're able to breathe, you're not grieving. Um, it's getting that oxygen to the rest of your body. And so by doing that, you can also increase your mood by looking up. And uh, with that, you're signaling there's chemicals released from your spinal column, that signal to your brain that you're happy. And some of these things we used to do as a kid, right? I don't know about you, but I would always go out and look up, and that throws your shoulders back. So you're allowing yourself to take a deeper breath. You know, the sky's always beautiful. So you're taking in some beauty and you're smiling and you're just feeling better. Maybe it's because I'm a pilot. I always look up, but it's a signal that you can do just in your own home to help you feel better and start to let your body do its natural thing, which is wants to be in harmony, decreasing the stress. And I think one of the awarenesses that we can have is that sometimes we induce some of the stress based on what we're doing. Um, Especially if we're on the internet and reading some of the things that are out there, and they're purposely worded to create an emotional response. And generally, uh, I think I was at a writing class and they were talking about any emotional response is good. So if it's a seemingly bad emotional response, you're creating an emotion with somebody. So, and that's what you want in your writing. Um, we get to decide whether or not we want to create that or we want to experience that or not. Uh, we all have different ways we want to experience life, but if you're starting to feel contracted and you're watching things on your computer, and it's a great way to turn it off and just clear your body. um, you, One of the other things that I was starting to notice, uh, or one of the other things that really helps is being out in nature. And I was just talking with a friend about that, and um, there's an exchange between our bodies as we build up all this, and I believe it's positive ions, and nature has the negative ions. So as we go out and walk or ground into the earth and really touch the earth, we're exchanging these electrical charges that we're building up, kind of like static, and we're able to dissipate that and feel better. And I think that's one of the things that we kind of describe as anxiety. um, we start to get anxious or not feel well, and to me, one of those things that helps is being out in nature. To me, it feels like when I have extra just built up energy, one of the things that I kind of, I guess, imagine that it's like is restless leg syndrome. And one night I woke up in the middle of the night with like restless body syndrome. It was really just super uncomfortable, and all the things that I normally do to relax and um, feel better within my body weren't working. So I just kind of threw out asking the question, hey, how can I help? How can I feel more comfortable? And the idea I got was to go outside and go into nature. So I went out barefoot. I ended up putting my hands in the grass, and just imagine that excess energy, discomfort kind of flowing off. And I ended up shaking my hands a little bit or a lot, and just kind of moving all of that discomfort. And it really worked. Went back to bed, and if you're in a place where you don't have access to nature, you can't get out in nature, um, one of the things that works is a shower, moving water, and imagining washing off that same kind of energy. And for some folks, I know the energy talk it might be a little bit strange, but and I was a skeptic too. I get it, but the truth is we create a magnetic field around us, and we're an electrical. We have electrical charges and electrical things moving through us all the time, and just thoughts create electrical photons and light, and I'm sure I'll have more um, stuff on that to help clarify a little bit. But just knowing I'm more of an experiential kind of person, and the knowing that works and that provides relief for me is enough. And then I'll go back and do the research and have pretty pictures and stuff up later. But those are some main ways to really help move the discomfort that we could be creating and stagnating, um, or in the stagnation that we could be putting ourselves in. One of the other things that really helps too, and I noticed that as I'm sitting on the bed, I'm half folded, right? So I'm leaving out really the lower part of my body. And um, there's one of the things that can really help with that is simply walking. And going for a walk helps to move the lymphatic system, which is a really delicate system that's pulling out toxins and moving them away from our body. And if we're not moving, or it doesn't have to be massive exercise, but just the movement of walking is creating that support to help anything that could be creating discomfort, or just needs to leave, mucus, etc., from the body. um, and I'm just imagining, I was just kind of wondering if for those people who are not allowed to go out and walk, or wherever they are in the world, just jumping jacks. We can just do simple jumping jacks and just get that blood moving, that pumping, that jumping and pounding. Um, yeah, that helps. So usually what I like to do is kind of think back to what did I do as a kid to make myself more comfortable, right? Like I was a pretty active kind of energy generator. And there are types like me, like, my niece is an energy generator. One of my friends is like, kids is just a fusion, like wonder of ball of energy that science probably needs to get a hold of. Um, and so how do we expend that? And other folks are just mellow and quiet, and that works for them. But for me, what I realize is a lot of those things that I did as a kid, out running, climbing, adventure, just doing things and moving my body, especially out in nature, totally helped me um, with any stressors or internal angst that was coming up. And to me, as we live in really close quarters with folks for a long period of time these days, um, I'm constantly wondering, whether it's at work or whether it's home or wherever I am, how can I improve my personal comfort? Um, because when we're in discomfort or we're in pain, we really don't have the ability to um, be kind, or we do things that maybe we ordinarily wouldn't. And so I'm constantly looking for, what are the things that make me feel better, improve my life, improve my health, support my body in my life experiences. And so I hope it is recording this time. the If you have more questions, there's tons of things out there. I just wanted to quickly put in some food for thought for folks. Um, and if you're interested in more information or more ways to help with emotional understanding and release of, beliefs and the things that are still weighing on you and feel this creating pain and suffering and based on experiences or fear of the unknown, feel free to check out my website, quantum or deirdrecatlin.com. My business is Quantum Living Creations, and it's really about taking that next step to make that massive leap uh, from where you think life can be and experiencing a completely new life, with joy, with resilience, with the ability to adapt to whatever comes at you. So I hope you're doing well, and I wish you all the best. Thank you for being here.